BMW's even-numbered X Series sport activity vehicles, the X4 and X6, have controversial fastback rear ends, right? X2 is not following the family tradition. BMW calls this a coupe-style roofline, or you could call it a wagon style. Whatever, it looks like it wants to get somewhere in a hurry. X1 and X2 share an architecture, of course. They also share body parts. Well, two of them, the door handles and the antenna. Two might be a larger number, but it's a smaller car than the X1 by about 3 inches in both height and length.
To test the driving dynamics, I get to take the X2 out on a track. Seems like a logical thing. It's BMW.
I'm at a BMW event at the Thermal Club outside of Palm Springs, California, and I'm hoping to get into the new M5. But first, the X2. Its muscular, hunkered-down design is proportional and purposeful. Motivation comes from a 2-liter 4-cylinder with twin-scroll turbocharging. I'll be taking 228 horsepower out onto the track. 258 pound-feet of torque is available low in the power band. The automatic transmission has 8 speeds. BMW says ordering the M Sport X package offers quicker cog swaps and paddles on the wheel. X2 can be had as, and some will find this sacrilegious, a front driver. Same with X1 now. Most owners will never track their cars. So let's start on the streets. BMW says 0 to 60 happens in a quick 6.3 seconds. That feels about right. X2 averages 25 miles of travel on a gallon of specified premium fuel, according to the EPA, and it does it fairly comfortably and quietly. Like all BMWs, the transmission always seems to be in the right gear and ready to kick down. Maybe it's the M Sport suspension and $600 dynamic handling package that lowers the car nearly a half inch, but the hairs on the back of my neck say X2 feels more buttoned down and planted than X1, and so it's time to validate that on the track. Some instructions from the lead car.
All right, gentlemen, one final request. We will be running with windows up on the track. That way we can hear the radios and it is a safety precaution. Hate to see a camera go out a window. It has happened.
The first lap is just to get acquainted with the course.
Into the power.
You can't see this, but I just got passed by a group of M5s. And here we go. I have it floored. 80 miles an hour, 90 miles an hour, 100 miles an hour, 110 miles an hour. It's like driving in LA.
Steady throttle through the S's here. Neon to neon, face of the curve.
Wow, very nice.
On the wheel, use all the track out. When your wheel is straight, you can go ahead and floor it, accelerating hard.
It's fun driving a crossover like this on a track.
Braking hard at the 5, get the car well slowed down.
And braking into the curve, cut the apex. You can feel the electronics feathering in. Not terribly draconian.
With the optional suspension setup, X2 feels very natural when pushed hard. On civilian streets, power feels fine. On the track, I'd like more because, well, I always want more power.
So you will probably not drive your X2 this way, but nice to know it can be driven this way.
While it's not an M car, X2 optioned up this way lives up to the ultimate driving machine principle. The car you're looking at is priced near the $50,000 mark. For that kind of coin, buyers get a cabin with BMW's unmistakable look right down to the gauge cluster. The wheel is heated. I love that feature. There are enough small cubbies scattered around this space to keep you organized. The heated seats, while not overly bolstered, did a solid job of holding me steady during hard cornering, and this feature adds thigh support for long trips. It's a BMW, so there's iDrive, which I'm okay on, but I tend to prefer touchscreen interfaces. Apple CarPlay is a $300 option. Android Auto, not available. And if you want wireless phone charging, it's bundled with a Wi-Fi hotspot for $500.
Since X2 is not an overly large vehicle, it's no surprise it's a little small back here, but it is comfortable. If your friends complain, you can think about moving up to an X3 or tell them to get an Uber.
Footroom is decent. Yes, there's door storage and a power port if they need to charge their phone to call for a ride. I would expect a premium vehicle to have heated seats back here, not this one. But again, even though the X2 is lower by some 3 inches, 2 adults should have enough room to catch a ride to the track and be happy on the way.
You know, the guys at BMW told me there's a Costco down the road, so I could do this test. I'm going to try to get some track time with an M5, so let's quickly look at the trunk.
First off, I'm a big fan of 40-20-40 split seats because it makes hauling a combination of people and long cargo easier, especially valuable in a smaller car. If you want a space-saver spare tire, it's a $150 option, and I'll guess that it'll eat up some of this storage. This might be a simple touch, but darned if it isn't mighty handy. Prices start at $37,400 for a white front-wheel drive model. Yes, white, because all other paint colors, like this sunset orange metallic, are $550. Active electronic safety features like automatic emergency braking with pedestrian detection and adaptive cruise control are available for $1,000, which is why this particular all-wheel drive model is kind of pricey at $50,000. The even-numbered X models always looked a bit odd to me. The X2, it looks like a winner. I never did take laps in the M5. Obviously, other auto writers were clamoring for seat time, and I was busy shooting this piece. In case you're wondering, X2 is the first BMW to locate the rondelle on the seat pillar, and the company says the fact that the slightly lengthened Hofmeister kink does not cross over the door line is unique. Have to admit, they would have snuck that one past me.
There you go. That is my look at the BMW X2. And if you're thinking about an X1, I highly recommend you take this one for a test drive as well. And if you can do it on a racetrack, all the better. That's Driven. I'm Tom Voelk.